Welcome to the Asbestos Knowledge Empire.
What does asbestos management mean to you?
I used to really struggle with the asbestos management at my site, but now it's a breeze.
It used to be really expensive. I was paying loads, but now I've got my Asbestos-powered team in place. It's so much easier.
Asbestos can be a pain in the arse if not handled right.
We had to stop the job because asbestos was discovered. Now we don't have that problem.
Asbestos management is easier than you think. Asbestos management. Be proactive, not reactive. Think about asbestos first, not last.
And now your hosts, best-selling authors and asbestos experts, Ian Stone and Neil Munro.
Welcome to the Asbestos Knowledge Empire. I'm Ian Stone.
I'm Neil Munro. So today we're going to talk about coronavirus and asbestos.
Yeah, we got a question in the week, didn't we, about coronavirus and asbestos, and is it the same, and what equipment is used? Can they use the same kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think we were doing some asbestos removal works at a site, and I think the question was asked, can we use that same sort of equipment if there's a corona outbreak?
Here, yeah.
Yeah, to help protect that site, etc.
Which is a very good question because
it is a kind of, from the outside looking in, it does kind of look the same. You see contractors, men
and women in suits, and you need masks and all the rest of it on.
Yeah, so it does look like if you're not used to that sort of thing, it does look similar, and it kind of looks like death scenes. You're doing a death cleanup, etc., like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we wanted to take this opportunity to sort of go through the kind of types of equipment that we use and basically say, at the end of it, it's not suitable for that kind of work.
No, it's not.
That kind of protection and that kind of cleanup.
No, and that's exactly it. It's kind of the filtration that's used. It's for microscopic asbestos fibres, not for bacterial or viral level infections and things like that. That's the difference.
Yeah, it is a difference, isn't it?
So under the law with RPE, basically the HSE and the law states that respirators and RPE, respiratory protective equipment, that must be used as the very last line of defence.
Yeah, that is, everything else should be in place. Yeah. So literally, you should be able to do the work. So the theory behind it is you should be able to do it and not need it, RPE.
Exactly that. Yeah, I should be able to remove asbestos, not be able to get exposed, but then that is kind of the very last thing. Whereas I think a lot of people think, I'm going to go and do this job, I need to stick a mask on.
Yeah, to make sure
I don't get exposed. Where it should be the other way around. It should be, what am I doing to protect myself before I even get to that mask? This, really. So the guidance note on it is HSG 53, and that is covering respiratory protective equipment at work. Yeah. That goes fully in depth about all the different types of masks, how you undertake those kind of assessments, why you need them, when you need them.
Employers have basically a legal responsibility, don't they, under the regulations, to control substances hazardous to health in the workplace. And that kind of covers asbestos, but it covers everything.
Exactly. So if you think of, a body shop where they do repair works. Yeah. Paul recently had to take his car to a body shop, didn't he? Because he did. Got a little ding on his bumper.
Again.
That's for the record, again. So he took it there, and the guys there were using respirators and stuff like that to protect them from the vapour and things like that.
Production sites, carpenters, they should be wearing respirators. Plasterboard fitters, they should be wearing respirators because their work activities are generating dust, which could be hazardous and harmful for the health of that operative.
It's kind of any time when your work comes into contact with dust, mist, vapour, gas or fumes. Yes. That's the kind of like the main points of when you think, I perhaps do need a respirator as the last line of defence here.
Yes. But as we said, the control measures must be in place first, and that is like the last thing that you look at.
So there's two kind of main types of respirators, which are the respirators which could be either non-powered or powered, and then actual full-on breathing apparatus.
Yes, like airlines.
Yeah, airlines, or the same as like scuba divers wear canisters, air tanks, stuff like that. Again, the fire service use things like that.
Yes.
Because when they're going into buildings that are smoking, all the rest of it, just having a filter on there wouldn't exactly help them.
So they're essentially breathing clean air from a source, as opposed to respirators, you're breathing the air which is filtered.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's kind of the difference, isn't it?
That is the difference. So for the compressed air ones, like you say, it's like the scuba divers wear, like the fire officers wear.
Yeah.
It's compressed air that's filled up in tanks off-site through clean air that's filtered. And then you can go off and use it as and when you need it.
Yeah.
And like you say, then the next one down from that are powered respirators, where, yes, the air's just being filtered, but it's being powered through the filter. And then finally, they are respirators, which are, well, your lungs are powering it, aren't they?
Yes.
Your lungs are forcing the air in through the filter.
Yeah.
They're kind of the main ones. And where inhalation, it's kind of any time inhalation risk remains that you should be using them, isn't it?
Yeah, and then to take that example is a carpenter, you might be able to control the dust levels through extraction.
Yes.
However, you may, in a case where you maybe slip or there's a risk that the extraction might not be adequate in certain manoeuvres within doing that, you need to have that last line of defence just in case.
It gives you the backup, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For things like garages, I know they tackle it by using the local exhaust ventilation.
Yep.
So I don't know if you've ever been to a garage and you've seen them when they do it. Sometimes they have
little
the big
hanging ducts, don't they?
Yeah.
Basically?
Sometimes they like manoeuvre it down to buy your exhaust. Sometimes they're just big bloody units that are kind of pulling the air.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's doing it like local exhaust. So
yes.
In the same way as when we do asbestos removal and the operatives use the H-type vacuum cleaner next to the source of what they're doing.
Yeah, shadow vacuum.
That's removing it at the source. So that's how they kind of garages get around it, because they've already dealt with the problem, and that problem is dealt with without the need to then go above and beyond, if you like, with the respirators, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, like I said earlier, like under the law, it is the last line of protection. But what makes a respirator decent? Well, anybody can walk into a shop and buy the right respirator. However, what makes it fit for that person might not make it fit for the next person.
Exactly that.
We've all got different.
It's really important, that is, isn't it?
Yeah, we've all got different face shapes, face sizes. That's why all the respirators are made in all the different sizes.
Yeah, your face don't fit, does it?
My face does not fit, no. Well, it doesn't at the moment because I've got half a beard going on. So again,
exactly
that's the other thing. So what I'm talking about here is actually having fit tests for the mask that you're wearing. Just because, I don't know, a mask has a P3 filter, but the mask is different to the last mask that you were fitted for, it doesn't mean this one will fit.
Yeah, it's only as good as the fit.
Yeah.
And it's only going to work as good.
Exactly.
If it's not completely sealed to your face.
No, and that's the problem, like with asbestos, and me having half a beard at the moment, like I've got I don't know, probably 3 days worth of stubble on the go. The face mask wouldn't fit and it wouldn't filter because there's little gaps from where the stubble is going to. It's not going to give me a proper full seal, is it?
Yeah.
Getting a face fit is important.
Yeah, and lots of individuals and companies, I think they don't do that, and they're not aware of having. They might go. A builder's got, mate, it is a mask. It's going to get a bit dusty in there.
Yeah, stick it on. You'll be all right.
That'll be all good.
Which it's better than not having one at all.
Exactly that.
But it's not doing the full proper job.
Yeah, they've kind of fallen a bit short on what is actually required under these regulations.
Yeah. And I mean, with respirators as well, that's the other thing. For people with beards, either because they want to grow a beard, for look, they think having a beard looks cool or whatever, or for religious reasons, people grow beards.
Yeah.
There are respirators, hoods, basically. Full hoods that can be used. And what that does, that creates the seal around the top of the body, around the neck, rather than over the kind of the breathing area around the nose and the mouth. Yeah.
Sometimes people goatees, instead of having, they can't wear the half face mask, but they can have the full face mask sometimes.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it, because you can tuck like the little goatee in the respirator, but it wouldn't. The little tickler, it wouldn't work otherwise. So there's two types of fit testing, qualitative and quantitative.
Yes.
Which sounds really complicated.
I was going to say, one's good, and I would say one, don't bother.
Yeah, I mean, it does prove a hood or a respirator fits. So quantitative are, the easiest way to describe it is you put the respirator on and you use kind of smelling salts in front of the person. If they can smell that very strong odour that's being put in front of you, then the respirator is not fitting correctly because it's not filtering that out.
It's going through. There's a gap, basically.
There is a gap.
That's what it's saying.
And it does that kind of, if a face mask fits and it works for that, that's kind of for the lower risk in need of wearing a respirator, isn't it?
I would say if you can't do anything but, that's one step closer to having an adequate seal on there. However, it doesn't go anywhere near as good as the next level.
Yeah, which is quantitative face fit testing. And with the quantitative face fit testing, it's basically you get a respirator that's got a particulate counter in the mask and one outside of the mask, and it's all linked up to a laptop.
Yeah.
You have to do all sorts of movements, like side-to-side head movements with the respirator on.
Yeah, it basically measures the air compression within the mask with the outside atmosphere as well, so it can see.
Yeah, and it's seeing what kind of particulate is entering and exiting that mask. And by giving, it kind of gives an order of a number at the end that basically says whether that face mask fits you or it doesn't.
Yeah, and as part of that, you have to go through, certain moves, certain activities, to sort of replicate your everyday work.
Yeah.
Because it's so good wearing the mask when you're standing still, but as you start moving around, your face moves, your body moves, the mask is likely to move. And it's to make sure that mask still has that adequate seal.
Yeah.
So that's really important. I think
it is face fit testing for the respirator for your actual need. You need to do those 3 steps for you to be covered.
Yeah,
if you haven't followed all 3, you could be kind of falling down, really.
Yeah.
Because you might have assessed you need a respirator for your job, you buy the right respirator, but if you don't get fit tested for it, then you don't actually know. No.
There's no point.
You're not bulletproof, are you?
No, exactly that.
So, yeah, that's kind of the differences between coronavirus and asbestos. It's kind of a lot different.
Yeah, so the other thing is so from an asbestos point of view, so what do we actually need? So when we talked about the respirators, but thing to look out for is a P3 rated filter.
Yeah, and they're the same for the half face and the full face,
yes,
aren't they?
That's this kind of the magic number you need to be looking for if you need, that's going to give you the adequate protection for asbestos fibre. And there are other ratings, so like if you were going to B&Q or whatever and you wanted a dust mask, it's probably going to be like a P1 or a P2 at best.
They're normally P2s.
Sometimes, so that's what you're looking for. P3 is going to give you that adequate rating. And the other stuff that we use for asbestos works is obviously the overalls.
Yeah.
So overalls, we'll be looking for coveralls. It's category 5 type 6 overalls.
Yeah, that's kind of the coding of them.
Yeah, that's giving you the information that they're going to protect you or from asbestos fibre dust working with it, so you're not going to get that penetrating through the actual the overalls themselves.
Yeah, so they're the type that our analysts wear, aren't they? Yeah. And the surveyors wear when they need to. And then the same with the asbestos removal operatives. That's what they wear.
Whereas as we're looking for biological, those are not adequate for biological hazards.
No, because it's only going to stop particulate. It's not going to stop
microbiological.
Exactly. That's easy for you to say.
Yeah, so that's kind of the diff. So in essence,
it's the same principle.
It's the same sort of stuff,
but it's completely different. Yeah. I hope you've enjoyed that one. I know there's a lot of stuff about coronavirus in the news at the moment.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to continue doing these podcasts.
Yeah. Remember, asbestos first, not last.